Hey, Mean Matt, this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. And this is the last installment of our look back at Year Series 1995.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the very first ever In Your House.
Kind of fitting because in a couple of weeks, you're gonna have NXT in your house.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But anyways, yes, we've done a lot of in your house reviews, and I think that this is kind of fitting because
Yeah.
it is the very first installment of what would be a continuation throughout the years. I believe the last in your house was St. Valentine's Day Massacre,
Yeah.
which we also did. So
Yes.
yeah, this was a very good show. I mean, you look at the role reversals of a lot of these wrestlers,
Right.
you know, that we're going to talk about. But I mean, I tried to find footage the best I could. You know, I don't know.
That's the one thing. Sometimes you can find video on whatever fairly easily, highlights or the actual show itself. But for this one, it was like slim pickings.
Well, we tried, and I mean, we've done that before.
Yeah.
Where we tried to find a show and we just fucking winged it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, too. I mean, we tried, obviously. I just didn't get through all of it. And I know that, I think it was Daily Motion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it wouldn't kill anyone to put up a fucking highlight reel of,
Yeah.
certain shows. Like, I mean, you got SummerSlams and WrestleManias and all that. But
Yeah.
from what I saw, it was a good show. And, I mean, yeah, that won't be too painful, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully.
So we got a few openers for pre-show matches, and I didn't see this one, but we got Jeanpierre Lafitte versus Sparkplug Bob Hawley. But was he going by Bob Hawley at the time? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Sparkplug, or Bob Sparkplug Hawley. And, yeah, initially when he came into the WWF, they had him as this race car driver gimmick. And it went well for a little while, and then I can't remember if he left or whatever, and then he eventually became Hardcore Hawley and, took off from there.
Well, he wrestled in NWA, and then when they invaded, it was either NWA or Smoky Mountain. It might have been Smoky Mountain, but I'll look it up anyways.
Right.
Yeah, so he did wrestle there. They did kind of an invasion in WWF, and then, afterwards he became Hardcore Hawley. Not sure. Well, actually, no, it wasn't a hardcore match, and that's how he was. Well, anyways, that's what happened. But
Yeah.
this was a good match, too.
Jeanpierre Lafitte defeat Bob Hawley.
Yes.
And they don't have a time for that match.
Yeah, and that's why I couldn't find it either, so I don't know if that was the case,
Yeah.
but
So next you had a match with Hitman Bret Hart versus Hakushi.
yes.
Now this would be the first of two matches he would have on the evening. We'll get into the second one a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hakushi, he wrestled for WWE for 2 years or so, I think.
Yeah, just about.
No, not very long. He did also have a stint, I'm not sure for how long, with ECW.
Of course, yes.
And I'm sure, he was obviously very, very big in Japan.
Yes.
In Japan, his character was very, like, it was different, but it was like their version of that point in time of like the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true. I mean, here's a guy who's a unique individual. Is unlike anything I think the WWE has had up to this point.
Right.
You know, Japanese writing all over his body.
Yeah.
He's very ahead of his time as far as, you know, his wrestling style in WWF.
Right.
This was a really good match. And I mean, Bret Hart had won.
Yes.
So obviously, you know, again, you know, we talked about last week with Benoit and I can't remember the other guy's name from Japan.
Right.
And again, it's like the classic Stampede wrestler versus a New Japan guy or whatever you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good match indeed. So I mean, yeah, this won't be Bret's first match, but it's his first match as in a dark match or whatever. So yeah, we'll get to see him later on.
Yeah. A handicap match with Razor Ramone versus Jeff Jarrett and the Roadie.
Yeah. Yeah, this was interesting, and I mean, Razor Ramone and Jeff Jarrett had quite the year in '95 with
Right.
the Intercontinental title, and then of course you've got the Road Dogg Jesse James, you know, who's a guy that was the roadie, but also did the song for, you know, Be My Baby Tonight or whatever.
Yeah.
It was, you know, supposedly Jeff Jarrett, but it ended up being Jesse James or,
Yeah.
you know, Brian Armstrong. And it was like, it was pretty cool. And I mean, this was Jeff Jarrett, like, it was still one of those guys. And again, you know, a certain someone calling him a mid-card piece of shit. Because, yeah, he was basically just that. You look at somebody that was in WWF and, you know, you go, okay, let's put the Intercontinental title on him. And then we'll put the tag team titles on him. For some reason, he never got that push for the WWF title.
No.
But then again, neither did Scott Hall. Razor Ramon was, again, one of those guys, over 6 feet, you know, oozing with cheese mo.
Yeah.
One of those guys that should have had a single WWF title run.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was his demons or what that, you know, I don't know what it was. And again, another one of those things where it was like, okay, it's basically a money issue.
Yeah.
And, you know, a year after this, you would have Scott Hall jump ship over to WCW and talk about the Nacho Man and stuff like that. And then, of course, the NW will come in and whatever. So that's pretty cool. But, I mean, during this time, yeah, I think that this match was interesting because you've got these two guys who were basically a manager and a wrestler, but, you know, Brian would be coming into his own as a wrestler.
Yes.
And so this was cool. And yeah, Razor actually ended up going over, even though I'm, you know, 2 against 1. Like,
Sometimes in those scenarios, you wonder if, you know, 2-on-1, man, you feel sorry for the one person, but not all the time is it a bad scenario, bad situation, whatever you want to call it.
mm-hmm. You have a King of the Ring qualifying match. You've got Mabel versus Adam Bomb. Now, what's interesting about this is that a year before you had Mabel as a face
Right?
with Mo and
Oscar?
and Men on a Mission.
Yep.
They turned him heel. And then, of course, you know, you have Adam Bomb, who came in with Harvey Wippleman. and he was a heel, a monster heel, supposedly.
Right.
And again, another guy that was underrated
Yes.
as a wrestler at the time. I mean, you could see Brian Clark and Nelson Frazier easily as a WWF champion.
Oh yeah.
So what happened? I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting to see Adam Bomb as a face and, playing to the crowd. But it was almost like, these two guys were money.
Yeah.
And you did fuck all with both of them. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, Mabel won, obviously, because he did win King of the Ring once again.
Right.
He didn't do jack shit with him, so.
Yeah. Then you had a tag team match for the WWF Tag Team Championship. You had the Owen Hart and Yokozuna versus the Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart Gunn.
Yeah. This was a good match, too. I mean, again, you look at the unfortunate, passing of Owen Hart, Nawahi, and around this time, Yokozuna came back, and he was heavier than he was the last time that we got to see him. But these two were an interesting tag team.
Yeah.
It was just really pathetic to see a guy that heavy struggling to stay in the ring or stay on the apron or try to catch his breath or something like that. It was kind of one of those things where I wish, and I'm one to talk, that he would have cut back on his diet and look after himself a little bit better.
Yeah.
He'd still be here today.
Most likely.
But this was one of the best tag teams of that year. You had Jim Cornette in the corner. It's just kind of one of those things where you look at, what could have been. If Owen Hart hadn't had that accident, or whatever you want to call it, got over the edge in 99, or if Yokozuna didn't pass away a year later, it's almost like what could have been.
Yeah.
Now, Owen Hart didn't want to be a wrestler no more. He wanted to be a firefighter. But that was later, Then I got the Smoking Guns, of course, Bart Gunn, and got the aforementioned tag team, soon to be with Jesse James, Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
But I remember when these guys debuted, you see the vignettes with them, and the cowboy gimmick and all that. Very, very fucking cool. These guys with their mullets and very popular at the time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But of course, Owen and Yokozuna went over.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, they'd be the tag team champions for a little while longer, but still a good match. And I mean, the Smoking Guns were very good as well as a tag team.
Oh yeah. And you're talking about Yokozuna and how he wished he would have, lost his diet and took better care of himself, lost some weight. They said that they put him in, they initially partnered him with Owen so he could do, they knew he was, bigger and he wasn't able to move around in the ring as easily as he used to be able to.
Yeah.
So they put him in a tag team so he would, the workload was less.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do as much in the ring. Owen could do most of the work, and Yokozuna could come in and do some power moves and whatever. And Owen, Owen was the high flyer, Yoko was the muscle, so to speak. And so Yoko would do his thing, Owen would do his thing, and then, And I mean, they were, like Matt said, they were a really good tag team. It worked very well considering, Yoko's limitations, but it still worked.
It worked. Oh, it did. And that's the thing. It worked. You had, two different styles. Owen, the more athletic, agile, high flyer, and Yokozuna, who was basically a squash guy.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. Like, I know Hakushi fought too, wasn't a skinny guy by any means, but
no.
Shit, he wasn't as big as Yoko.
True.
But, yeah, this was a good match, obviously. You would see these guys continue to take team championship run, and yeah, eventually they had Yokozuna speak English a year later.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Well, I'm sure you could probably speak English to begin with.
Yeah, of course.
Because, they said he was from Japan, even though he was fucking Samoan.
Yeah.
But,
I think that was the thing, too, that really, I think, had Vince. Because you have Sergeant Slaughter introduce Rodney to Vince, and Vince is like, we have a lot of Samoans, why don't we make him a sumo wrestler?
Yeah.
And I honestly thought when I was little that he was from Japan. But when you look at Japan and you look at the sumo wrestlers there, a lot of them are from Hawaii or Samoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Now to the second match featuring Bret Hart, this time against the King, Jerry Lawler. And these two, oh my god, the feud that these guys had was entertaining. Like, just the shit that Lawler would say about the family, and Stu, and Helen, and Bret, and the other boys, and oh man, it was like, for this decade, this genre, this era, probably wouldn't get away with half of the shit Lawler said back then. I mean, he would just dig into Helen and Stu and Bruce and Keith and all, of the boys. It was such a good dynamic.
Oh, and you want to know the funny part? This was tamer than half the shit he did in Memphis.
True.
So, I mean, yeah, you got away with a hell of a lot now back then than you would today. Shit. And that's the thing, and that's too bad that we have such sensitive pricks in this world that we live in now. Because you can't bat an eyelash without offending somebody.
No, I know.
I mean, I get offended too about things, but they're nothing compared to what I see nowadays with, whatever, but anyways, Jerry Lawler ended up winning. He got some help, so that was interesting. I mean, this isn't the first match that they've had where it was the shits, but I mean, as much as they had a good feud, I don't remember them having a really good match.
Not really.
But I mean, when Bret came back in 2010, he was in the ring talking and stuff, and he had a good interaction with Jerry, who did commentary. It was scary, but anyway, so this was interesting, and of course it all started back in King of the Ring '93.
Yeah.
I'm surprised actually now that I'm thinking about it. It lasted for 3 years.
Yeah, think about it. Yeah, it did. But that's just how good it was, though.
Oh, I know.
And the material, it was just endless material, too, for Jerry to work with.
Right.
Then you go on to a match for the WWF Championship. You got Big Daddy Cool, Diesel, versus Big Sid. Psycho versus Justice. Sid.
Yeah. This was the this was the infamous promo where he had with Jim Ross, and
He starts off saying something, he fucks up. Jim goes, "We're live, bud." He's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Yeah, Sid wasn't too bad. But this was a really good match. Obviously, it was two hosses going at it. And it was mentioned in a review I saw. It always seemed better when Kevin Nash faced somebody that was shorter than him, I guess. I mean, this was your typical, like, chops and, like, you know, heavy moves and whatever. And I mean, you got the jackknife versus, the jackknife versus the power bomb.
The jackknife power bomb versus the release power bomb,
Yeah.
whatever the hell.
But I mean, these two really had a good feud.
Yeah.
And you look at the thing, you know, Shawn Michaels breaks away from Diesel and he joins with Sid. And then you have the infamous promo after WrestleMania 11, and basically Shawn Michaels gives Sid the night off and Sid attacks him, which brings out Kevin Nash, Diesel, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was actually a really good match and retained the title.
Yep.
And I mean, this was after WrestleMania 11, so I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
And I mean, I forgot about the fact that this happened on Mother's Day,
Yes.
which is unfortunate because, you know, Kevin Nash lost his mother a year prior, so it's like.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, yeah, he would have dedicated the match to her anyways. And
Oh, yeah.
retaining the title, and then of course, yeah, it goes from there, obviously.
Yeah.
But Kevin Nash, I can't really describe his title run. It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't last that long.
No.
You know, I think that, yeah, winning it from Backlund in late '94 and then
Yeah.
holding on to the title for shit, I don't even know who took it off of him. Probably Sid,
I think it might have been, yeah.
but yeah, he was a good champion, and I mean, here's a guy that was, well, no, I guess no, he wasn't one of the first Grand Slam champions.
No.
Or not Grand Slam, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Jump Ground?
Yeah. But and then of course they would continue their feud, so to speak, or you know, have at least a few matches in WCW. So
Yeah.
and now you've got this match. You have two friends going at it. Well, not friends at the time, but they have wrestled each other before.
Well, they were friends outside of the ring. In the ring, they had, yes, fought each other many times under many different, well, few different names.
You got The Undertaker with Paul Bearer versus Kama with semicolon. And I mean, this was a good match. I think that Charles Wright had some of the best gimmicks
Yes.
in WWF. And you look at Papa Shango. And yeah, he said at that time he wasn't in a good place.
Yeah.
And then coming back as a Supreme Fighting Machine.
Yep.
And the promos were actually really good. I don't remember him as that. Again, I was a casual fan. I
Yeah.
didn't know too much at the time. But yeah, he definitely had a good few months with this gimmick. It didn't last very long. I mean, yeah, he was still Kama Mustafa when he was with the Nation.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that transitioned to The Godfather. So, But then, of course, you got the Undertaker. Of course,
Yeah.
talk about him all day.
Yeah.
So,
And of course, the Godfather, Charles Wright and Mark Calloway had known each other from way back when Mark was Master of Pain and
yes,
Charles Wright was the Soul Taker.
imagine that. The Soul Taker, and then, you know, Mark Calloway years later becoming the Undertaker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Undertaker would get the win on this one. No stress.
Yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow versus Tatanka. Tatanka. Yeah.
Yeah, and here we talk again. It's like, you know, a year prior, you had Bam Bam Bigelow with Luna Vachon.
Right?
He was a heel, you know.
Mhm.
He came out as a heel. Still, you know, Tatanka was obviously the Native American, had some good feuds with Shawn Michaels,
Yes.
Rick Martel,
Mhm.
you know, and now, this year, the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
You got Bam Bam as the face. Obviously, just had his match with Lawrence Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you got Tatanka and a $1 million corporation.
Yes.
I gotta say, Tatanka as a heel was the shits.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a good match. I think that they really worked well together.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Bam Bam ended up going over.
Yippers.
And I mean, what a powerhouse that guy was.
Bam Bam was, yeah, quite the powerhouse and agile as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, man could do cartwheels, fucking moonsaults, and oh yeah.
He was like the Big Van Vader of WWE, in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Until, obviously, Vader came to WWE. But, yeah, this guy, man, again, another missed opportunity to not put a strap on him.
Yeah.
And it just really blows my fucking mind that you take a guy like Bam Bam Bigelow, and, you know, we talked about tattoos and WWE, WWF, and whatever. I don't know if it was because of his look, he never got a title, but you look at his career in WCW and ECW,
ECW, yeah.
and look at the titles that he won there.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost like, could you have not put a fucking title on Bam Bam Bigelow in WWE?
Yeah.
Would he have been a good Intercontinental Champion? Who knows?
Yeah.
Could he have been a good WWE Champion? Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you don't give certain people chances, and that really sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, he went over in this match.
Yep.
So.
Finish things off, you had another King of the Ring qualifying match with Owen Hart and the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith.
Yes. Of course, this is before Bulldog cut his hair and
Right.
became the heel and joined Owen Hart. But I think this match was still a very good match. And you look at another guy who basically was that good that you could have had him as the WWE champion. And again, I harp on that because it's true. Davey Boy Smith had it.
Oh yeah.
He was agile, he was strong, he had somewhat charisma, you know. When you look at the matches that he did have, it's just a shame they didn't give him the WWE title. Fuck, they were gonna give him a title shot in 2000.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking amazing, but no, we couldn't even do that. We couldn't even put the title on Razor Ramone, British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, Bam Bam Bigelow, Adam Bomb, or Mabel. You got these guys who were the fucking best. Okay, maybe not Mabel, but you had these guys that could fucking move. I mean, look, Bigelow could have had a lot of good matches for the WWF title. He could have had that title for a little bit. Ramone, same thing.
Yeah.
You know? British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. Here's a guy who won the Intercontinental title in his home country.
Yep.
And, well, that's basically it. Well, no, I mean, he won the European title. Couldn't fucking have that at fucking whatever that pay-per-view was in England because fucking Shawn Michaels. I'm gonna go over because I'm the best. I'm a sexy boy. Yay! And dedicating his match to his sister who was dying.
Yeah.
It just blows me away how it was a missed opportunity with all these guys. And yeah, maybe they weren't good enough to be the WWE champion. Fuck, you had Tatanka, a guy who bled red, white, and blue. He was fucking Native American, for God's sake. And yet, you couldn't even put the title on him? You couldn't even put the Intercontinental title on him either?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I know.
But, anyways, this was a good show all around. Like,
Yeah.
You got a lot of segments in your house, obviously, with backstage and them using the hotline phone and
Yeah.
Todd Pettengill with his rocker mullet.
Yeah.
This was probably the 90s at its best.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah, because obviously 93 was, in my opinion, a good year. Not a great year, but a good year for WWF. In 95, I wish I would have paid more attention.
Right.
But, I mean, you had guys like, you know, Todd Pettengill, Michael Hayes as Doc Hendricks. Yeah, I mean, Vince McMahon was there.
Sean Mooney.
Sean Mooney, yes. The woman who will remain nameless. You know, this show was amazing. And that's an understatement, I know. But when you look at the talent that's on this card, and you have guys that are sadly no longer with us.
Yeah.
Yokozuna, Razor Ramone, we just lost.
Yes.
Owen Hart, Adam Bomb.
Adam Bomb, yeah.
You know, there's obviously
Bigelow.
Bam Bigelow. These are guys that were
Bulldog.
British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, who will never, ever, you know, and yeah, most of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But these are guys who will always have a place in WWE history, who should have got a title shot, and it just, again, blows me away that didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and it just, it goes to show you that even back in 1995, WWE, Vince McMahon, who the fuck ever, had no fucking clue what to do with most of his talent.
Yeah. He didn't seem to have a clue what to do with most of his talent back then, and he still doesn't. People would say that today he still has no fucking clue what to do with his talent.
Yeah. But also looking at Bret Hart, who once again, just like WrestleMania 10 and that year prior, wrestled in 2 matches.
Yep.
It's weird to me to see a guy that could wrestle in not only the pay-per-view, but like the dark match.
Yeah.
And Hakushi, there's somebody that should have gone somewhere.
Oh,
in
fuck
WWE.
yeah.
But in any case, yeah, this was a good show.
Hell yeah.
Well, Another year covered.
Yep.
So, yeah. I know Double or Nothing is happening next week,
Right.
so we will watch that. I know they had some more matches announced on Dynamite.
Yeah.
They'll probably have some more tonight on Rampage.
Most likely, yes.
So, next we're gonna look at, your edition. I almost got a brain fart. I know that I had chosen 97.
Yes.
And we have Kyle choose 95.
Right.
Now we're gonna go 11 years past the 90s. I know.
Really now. Alrighty then.
And we will be talking about 2006. And again, another, in my opinion, good year in WWE.
Oh yeah.
So, we'll pick 3 matches.
3 pay-per-views from that particular year.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from.
Oh, I know one in particular that we're definitely going to do. But, not only that, but we can go from WCW and ECW and go to Impact or Ring of Honor.
Yeah, because but by this point in time, WCW and ECW were no longer.
Kaputski.
Yeah, they were Kaputskis. They were no longer around. So yeah, we will have to do just a wee bit of tweaking and adjusting.
So,
But we'll still get her done.
yeah, look forward to that. Like I said, we have Double or Nothing. I believe we have the Forbidden Door.
So, yeah.
Not quite sure what else.
Well, we got Double or Nothing, May the 29th. Forbidden Door is fairly soon. And of course, you jump into Hell in a Cell, in the Bank, and yeah.
So, it'll be next month. Jesus Christ. Anyway. So, for me and Matt, this is Killer Kyle.
So long!
Deuces.